The transfer portal keeps going at Nebraska as the Cornhuskers get a surprise addition to their team in East Tennessee State defensive end Jaylen George. A lot of you are probably not familiar with him. You probably know that he's 6'2", 260 pounds. But what is he as a player? And that's what I'm going to do here. If you're not familiar with what I do, I like to take clips. I like to take videos to highlight what this player is, who Jaylen George is, and what he can bring to this 2024 Nebraska Cornhusker team. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the tape. Now, when Nebraska signed Jaylen George committed to Nebraska. He did an interview with Husker Online, and one of the things that he mentioned was that the Huskers saw him as a run-stopping defensive end. And so the first thing that I want to take a look at is how is he as a run defender. Here in this game against Mercer, he's over here lined up at the right defensive end position. And throughout the tape, I saw him play Mercer, Elon, North Dakota State, and one other game that's escaping me. He did show the ability to play the run pretty well. So here he is at the snap. He's just going to go in and engage with this left tackle. He's going to hold the point of attack. And then as that running back comes onto the inside, he's able to free himself and help make this tackle. And just that ability to use his length to attack the offensive tackle, keep his body free, and then be able to shed inside to make the tackle. We see that against Elon here. He's right here kind of, playing 5-ish technique, maybe 4-eye. I mean, it's looking more like the 5. But once again, he's going to engage this with the left tackle, get his hands on him, get some good leverage there, and then reading the play. He's taking on that block to read, and he sees that they're handing it off, and he's able to free himself. And now he's not able to make the tackle in the backfield, but he's still in a position that he's able to make that play and help get a tackle here. Now that we've seen him be able to hold the point of attack, I want to see him getting in and making plays. In this game, he's at the left side, going up against the right tackle this time. And here at the snap, he's able to engage like he did before, but then he kind of just shook him, took that, his outside arm and kind of put, his inside arm and then to push him up and then got that hand through. And then he's able to get in. Once again, didn't really make the play here, but he was still in a position to get to here that running back saw him there and realized, I got to cut it back up right into the arms of his defender. And it's just that power to be able to lift up the tackle's arms, get underneath of him, and then get into the backfield. And then the next thing that I want to see is that athletic ability. Speed, burst, quickness, whatever it may be. Same game. He's once again still on that left defensive end going against the right tackle. And at the snap, he's able to use a quick lateral cut, get in here, and then chase this guy down from behind. And it's just that ability, we see things kind of stacking together. He's got the power to be able to engage, to shed. Here, he looks like he's going to engage, sees the whole opening, cuts inside, and is able to use that burst to chase down this running back from behind to get the stop for what? Maybe a yard. And then finally here against North Dakota State, probably the best team that they played. Here he is on the right defensive end going against the left tackle. Same type of thing. He's able to slant inside, so a design slant, and able to just shoot through here to get the tackle for the loss. And it just shows his quickness, his speed, to be able to burst through there, come from the backside, and be able to bring that running back down for the loss. Now that we've looked at Jaylen George as a run defender, I want to look quickly at him as a pass rusher. Now, in the games that I saw, he didn't showcase a lot of high-end traits as a pass rusher, a lot of pass rushing moves, but we did see a few things. Here against Mercer, right defensive end, going against their left tackle, we're going to see that power. So he's kind of going up the field. A lot of times he tried to just win around the edge with his speed and quickness. So because of that, he also can use his speed to power, and as we see here, pushes the left tackle all the way back into the quarterback's feet, letting him know that, hey, I'm right here. And just showing that power. We saw the power earlier as a run defender. Here we see the ability. I mean, this left tackle got put on skates and then eventually on his back. And then finally on this clip, we see him once again right down here at the bottom, wide 9, and he's going to run a loop. And they're going to run this defensive tackle out here and trying to get him up underneath. And he doesn't get anywhere. He ends up getting kind of pushed down past the quarterback. But what I like here is we see the athleticism. We see the lateral agility to be able to change directions. And then we see the burst. You see that explosiveness that he has there. He just, North Dakota State is a good blocking team. They got good offensive linemen that go to the NFL on a yearly basis. And he just got stopped. But we see the traits. And in the limited amount that you get to see, we see stuff. And in that Husker Online article, when he talked to them, he mentioned that they were going to use him as a run defender, but also kind of he used the term blitzing from all different angles. And I think when we think of blitzing as a down lineman, I'm thinking slants, loops, different things like that. And we saw that with Nebraska over the last couple of years, and I'm sure it'll continue with John Butler and Phil Snow in this new defense that we're going to have. When Nebraska announced or this signing, this addition was kind of announced by Jaylen Green, I think it surprised a lot of people. Here's a guy that was considering Louisville, Tulsa, and Buffalo. So it's not like Nebraska's pulling him against Alabama and Georgia and other Big Ten schools. And so I think it might have caught a lot of people on guard. They probably don't know a lot about him. But I think when we look at him, I think he's a guy that they're looking to kind of fulfill that Jamari Butler position. I think that's the spot that he's going to kind of go. If they do an odd man front, he's going to be that defensive end in that odd man front. If you think about this year, you had Nash at the nose tackle, you had Ty as a defensive tackle, and then Butler was the defensive end. And I think that's where Jaylen George is going to be. If they do run more of the four-man fronts, the even-man fronts, you're going to see him lined up as that, I think, a strong side defensive end. They're going to look at him to stop the run primarily, and he's probably going to be a rotational player. I don't think Matt Rule and John Butler and their new defensive line coach, I don't think they're looking at him coming in to be a day one starter, key, like star player. I think they're saying, hey, here's a guy that we saw his name in the portal. We saw that he was a first-team All-Southern SoCon, Southern Conference player. He's got 2 years of eligibility. He's got some size at 6'2", 260 pounds. And I think he's a guy that they can use as depth and a rotational piece. And as I mentioned, I think he's going to be a defensive end, whether in a 3-man front or a 4-man front. I could also see him be a pass rusher from the inside. That's one thing I didn't show here, but I saw it at times. They lined him up in kind of as of a defensive tackle type spot. I could see him being that in sub packages, pass rushing situations, slide him into that 3 technique. He's got speed and quickness. He's got good size. Maybe they view him there, like I said, doing loops, stunts, and they're going to take a chance on him. And he's, this isn't a splashy guy. It wasn't a top 20 guy on 3 or Rivals or whatever for their transfer portal rankings. But I think they see some talent in there. They like his versatility. They like his athletic traits. They think he can stop the run, and there's a lot to work with there. And so it'll be fascinating to see how they do end up using him and how he does transitioning from the Southern Conference to the Big Ten. That's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode. If you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe. That's the best way to get these videos, is to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. While you're out there, follow me on social media, draft_Brian. Wherever you do social media, you can find me at draft_Brian. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time.